So the first sandwich filler is an egg cress sandwich, which is, I don't know if that's classic elsewhere in the world, but in the UK an egg and cress sandwich is classic. I used to have it growing up, so I wanted to sort of recreate that vibe with tofu as the key ingredient to replace the egg, because the texture can feel similar. And then the eggy flavour comes from something called kala namak, which is black salt. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but basically, yeah, it gives that kind of eggy taste. It's kind of sulfury in smell, and it really does work. So I definitely recommend you get this if you're vegan or plant-based, because it adds to it. And then we've got some cress, some onion. I'm gonna add a bit of turmeric in there for some colour, the yellow colour, and some vegan mayo. And we're gonna put this all inside a big sandwich. So let's give it this go. Let's give this a go. Around 2 tablespoons or 2 spring onions, just the green bit, and then around 5 to 6 tablespoons of vegan mayonnaise. This is follow your heart. A pinch of turmeric, I've got about 1/4 teaspoon. The zest of a lemon. A pinch of black salt to taste. A tablespoon of nutritional yeast, or more to taste, and then mix that all together. And now I'm going to crumble in the tofu into that mixture. And then mix it all together. It really does start to look eggy and smell eggy. So here's the classic egg and cress. Ideally, I think this would be perfect with a soft white loaf of bread, but we already had a loaf of sourdough, so we didn't want to buy an extra loaf of bread just for the sake of that. But the soft bread works so well, it reminds me of my childhood. But this looks so yummy, and actually tasting it on its own, it's so realistic. I knew that would happen. Well, for the stuff that went in my mouth, brilliant. If you're from the UK, you probably know what a ploughman's is, and if you're not, it's essentially a dish that you have at the pub for lunch on a summer's day, which is a variety of cheese. Sometimes it's got meat on there, and then salad, gherkins, coleslaw, maybe a bit of apple or grape, just like a kind of lovely salad filled with relishes and things like that. So we thought we would create a sandwich version with a lovely piece of thick, crusty baton and make it vegan. So we're gonna add some cheese, some gherkins, coleslaw, apple, lettuce, and tomato, and it's gonna be like a ploughman's, but all in one sandwich, which will be so good. So I thought this was a fun sandwich filling idea. First, we're gonna add our vegan butter. Add in your vegan cheese of choice. This is the Violife smoked. Top with pickle and some tomato. A few thin slices of apple. And top it all off with some coleslaw or even some onion chutney. So this is a fish finger sandwich, except obviously it's not fish, it's going to be vegan fish, which we're using tofu for, as well as some nori, and we're going to be frying it so it tastes like fish fingers. I'm also going to show you how to make a really quick tartar sauce with vegan mayonnaise and some mushy peas, so it's going to be epic, and it's going to remind us of our childhood, because I used to love a fish finger sandwich. So we're going to make tartar sauce, starting with 100 grams of vegan mayonnaise, a tablespoon of capers, a little gherkin, and some parsley or dill, just some lovely herbs, and then we're going to finish it all off with seasoning of lemon and salt and pepper. So to make the fish fingers, we've got a block of tofu. I have pressed this already, so press your tofu if you can. You don't need a tofu press for this. I used a tofu press, but you can just press it in between some plates with some books on top. And we're gonna slice this into fingers. We're gonna pop them in a container and just marinate them, not for ages, maybe for like 10-15 minutes in some lemon juice and some seasoning. $80 milliliters of vinegar. I'm gonna zest a lemon in here as well. And the juice of a lemon. Salt and pepper. I'm just going to turn this so that everything's coated properly. And I'll leave that to marinate for about 15 minutes. For the batter, we're going to do half and half, whoa, that was far too much. Half and half flour and cornstarch, but I'm going to take some of that out. So 50 grams of each. Just going to add a little bit of salt into the batter, and then unsweetened milk, plant milk. So in total that was 100 grams of flour and then 150 ml of milk. We're going to prep our mushy peas. We've got 200 grams of frozen peas, and then I'm just going to top it with boiling water and let it thaw for 5 minutes. So we'll take each of our little fingers of tofu, pop it onto the nori sheet, and I'm just going to trim the nori to fit the size of tofu. And then we're just going to roll it like you would sushi. And it should stick because the tofu's wet with the marinade. And then cut. Probably could do with a sharper knife. This one's obviously a bit blunt. And there you have it. A little wrapped piece of tofu. So this will give it an extra like seaweedy, fishy taste. First, we're going to dip the little finger in our batter, get it all nice and coated. And then we're going to put this into a mixture of, I've done panko breadcrumbs and normal breadcrumbs. And we're just going to repeat that with each little finger. For our mushy peas, our peas is thawed. We're going to add in a little bit of mint, some olive oil, and then the juice of half a lemon. And a little bit of salt.
Oh God. I don't think it's going to get any better.
No.
That's how pros make mushy peas, how they do it in all the top restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Get your hands in.
Mm-hmm. I've got a large pan here filled up with vegetable oil. You need about 2 centimeters deep to fry. If you really are against frying, then you could bake these in the oven with some drizzle some olive oil on them. But I'm going to deep fry them so they go really lovely and golden. Got it really, really hot, and we're going to pop this in to sizzle away. Hopefully it sizzles. Yes. So I am gonna go for it and take a big bite and see if it's gonna go everywhere, let's be real. R.I.P. my dress. It didn't go everywhere. That is delicious. Really worth marinating it because you can really taste the vinegar and the lemon. Yum. What's this? What's this? What's this? What is it? What is it?